I'm Josh Sepps, and right now in Hong Kong, police are cracking down on the pro-democracy demonstrators who've been camped out on major thoroughfares for the past 2 months. Camps are being cleared as the authorities try to snuff out opposition to China's power grab and perhaps to end democracy in one of Asia's greatest states. But the cops may have actually energised the movement with the arrest of 2 student leaders, Joshua Wong and Lester Shum. What will become of their movement, and what will become of Hong Kong? We're joined by Jacques Delisle, Director of the Centre for East Asian Studies at Penn Law, Matt Schiavenza, a contributor to The Atlantic, and on the phone is journalist Tom Grundy, who's on the ground with protesters in Mong, that's a district of Hong Kong. Tom, thanks for being with us under these circumstances. I know it's 11:30 at night there. Can you just describe to us where you are, what you're seeing?
It's relatively calm here in an area just parallel to the road, which was occupied and then cleared by police this morning. Overnight, there were quite a few clashes at different flashpoints across the Kowloon area, and police now are simply trying to keep the roads open. There are thousands who've descended into the area as we near midnight in Hong Kong, and I'm just overlooking a large intersection where protesters are continually trying to cross the road, as they say, albeit very slowly, and then recross the road. And police are often having to clear them in order to resume traffic as the green man disappears. They all claim to be shopping after Hong Kong's chief executive called for normalcy to return and for people to hit the shops. So the issue now is whether this is an illegal assembly, and this is why police are trying to move people on this evening.
Who determines whether it's an illegal assembly?
Well, there's quite an archaic law in Hong Kong whereby any public procession, as they call it, or meeting above 30 people needs prior permission. And it was on that basis that some of the protest camps are being cleared. There are actually 3 camps. The first, Mong was cleared today entirely, and traffic was resumed for the first time in 60 days. And there is a much larger camp around government headquarters over on Hong Kong Island, and a rather small one in another shopping thoroughfare in Causeway Bay. But it was actually court injunctions which were enforced yesterday, and police then took the initiative to enforce the law elsewhere in Kowloon to break up any unlawful assemblies, and that included the arrest of those 2 student leaders, Joshua Wong and Lester Shum, earlier.
I was there in Mong last month, and walking down Nathan Road, everything looked pretty well entrenched. The camps, the tents looked like they weren't going anywhere. The people were sitting around and hanging around as if they didn't really have feel any fear. Are you saying that entire thoroughfare has now been destroyed or broken up by police, and there's now traffic on it again?
Yeah, cleaners took away debris, and other police from the tactical unit, bailiffs and an agency which was outsourced to the work, have cleared up one of the 3 sites entirely. But for sure, Mong has borne the brunt of the attacks from counter-demonstrators, sometimes triads even, and has been considered the front line of the entire umbrella movement. There's a much larger protest camp near to the Legislative Council building, and there were over 2,000 tents still, and it may take much longer to clear that area where there is a study centre. People are very much bedded in. Some literally have beds. There's even an organic garden, lots of artwork, and that's the main protest camps, but it's unclear when and if that will be cleared anytime soon. The focus, at least this week, seems to be on Mong Kok.
And if the Mong protests have been broken up, basically, where are all those people going? Do you have a sense of whether or not they're going to the other protest sites? Are they going home? Are they lingering around?
Well, there are fewer people at the other protest sites, so presumably some have gathered here. But protesters call this the mobile occupy, where they have gathered at certain flashpoints and certain junctions, sometimes organised online through Facebook or WhatsApp groups, and often on the local equivalent of 4chan, HK Golden Forum. But obviously police are watching some of these online portals and have been able to respond to, wildcat actions over the last day or so, including just an hour or so south of here in Chim Sa Choi, where just a dozen or so protesters gathered. But for the majority of occupiers, they seemingly have been looking for an excuse to pack up and go, not wanting to be seen to retreat, but happy, I think, to go home now that the public sentiment is more against them, and winter is coming.
Yeah.
Many were actually packing up their own tents today, but a lot of the debris had to be removed after that.